2. You guys are doing a great job keeping up with the course so far. Keep up the good work. Today is Friday, so later today or tomorrow you should see your grade and comments on your writing samples. To view your grade, you will return here to where you uploaded your paper and click on your paper's title. Then you should be able to see my comments in the paper, over to the side, and when you toggle to the grid button in the lower right hand corner, you can see the rubric. If you have problems viewing your comments, please see the video instructions linked for you under Student Resources. If those directions don't help you, then please email me and let me know. It is very important that you're able to see my comments, since I not only make comments to help you on your current paper, but so you can improve on future papers. And when we conference over your drafts in weeks 5 and 6, you will need to return to your drafts on the Turnitin link to view those comments so you can revise for your final draft. You should also be working on your Easy Writer diagnostic in the next few days. Again, I want to remind you not to leave it until Sunday night. Be sure to give yourself enough time to complete it and do well. Also be sure to keep up with your tutorials and quizzes that you need to work on during the next 4 weeks. If you leave them all until the end of week 5, you'll be pretty miserable and won't learn the materials like you need to. Once all your other assignments are completed, you will need to complete your journal for week 1. Be sure to read through the questions and answer them fully. So that's week 1. Now let's look at week 2. On Tuesday, we have our all-class conference. To access the conference, you'll need to follow the link in the email invitation I sent you a few days ago. I'll also send a reminder email the day of our conference. If you haven't used a Google Hangout before, please watch the video linked for you here to set your Google Plus profile up for Google Hangouts. During our conference, we'll talk about the information on week 2 and answer any questions you may have about the class so far. Depending on the questions, the conference could last from 30 minutes to 1 hour. This week I want to be sure you pay careful attention to our readings for week 2. Here you have a reading over thesis statements. Thesis statements are vitally important to your essays as they let the audience know exactly what your paper will be about. We'll go over some examples in our meeting next week. Then you have a reading on audience. It is very important to keep in mind the audience you choose for your paper. For example, if I were going to write a paper comparing and contrasting 2 different restaurants, my audience will determine what I might say about each one. To college students, I might point out how one is cheaper than the other and has larger portions. To health nuts, I might point out the whole grains and organic choices one has to offer over the other. And to parents, I might instead focus on the kid meals and kid-friendly atmosphere. Same restaurants, but with different audiences, I'm going to note different points. We'll also have a reading over the writing process. I know many college students try to sit down and write a paper at once and then call it done. But you really have to have a better chance at success if you view the paper writing as a process instead of a one-time event. It starts with pre-writing and brainstorming, then your first draft that you throw all your ideas into, then the second draft where you weed out the ones that don't work and fully develop the ones that do, and then finally the editing and proofreading to your final draft. Even in my own writing, I work very hard to give myself a day or even a week, if I have it, to take a break from a project and then go back and revise with new eyes. I find the process improves my writing a lot, and I think you will too. Finally, we have readings over compare and contrast. You'll notice I have 3 different readings here for you. They all give basically the same information, some a little more detail, some a little less, but they are explained in different ways. That way, if one reading doesn't make sense to you, maybe another reading will. Go ahead and read through all of them though, even if the first one makes sense, so you can be sure you fully understand about compare and contrast essays. If you have any questions after you read through the materials, please feel free to post a question on the questions forum, email me, or ask me during our meeting on Tuesday. Now let's look at our assignments. The first one you have this week is Collaborative Google Doc. Here are your assignment instructions and your rubric for the assignment. Every assignment in the course is set up with a rubric. Be sure to always review them before completing your assignments so you know exactly what is expected of you. Then to access the Google Doc, you will click here. Make sure you're signed into your SNU email account or it will not let you in the doc. You'll need to pick 2 of these topics and come up with compare and contrast statements for each. On these, I want you to go past the obvious statements like this one comparing McDonald's and Taco Bell, they are both cheap, to deeper statements like this one, they both have value menus. This assignment will be due Tuesday night. Then on this forum, you'll take one of your compare and contrast pairs from the Google Doc and write out a paragraph. Here you'll need to be sure to use many strong details to support your ideas. Then you'll return by Sunday night to critique each other's paragraphs using the information you've learned this week as a basis for your critiques. Remember, we're looking for constructive criticism here. Just saying, "looks great," is not helpful. Telling your classmates specifically what they did well on and then telling them how they might improve to make it even better is helpful. Details are very helpful here. I want you to keep in mind, though, that these are just practice activities. You aren't to use the ideas and topics here as part of your final compare and contrast paper. You will brainstorm for ideas for your paper and turn them into me here by Thursday night. Specific compare and contrast essay instructions and instructions for the brainstorming assignment are in this link. Finally, on Sunday, you have the draft of your compare and contrast essay due and your journal. Remember, this is a draft, so we don't stress over it being perfect. However, you will take this draft to the online tutor before Thursday of week 3 and have them go over it with you. The stronger the draft you take to the tutor, the better they can help you revise it. Also remember to have the assignment instructions and rubric available for them, as well as any specific questions that you need help with. After you've completed all the other assignments for the week, you'll turn in your journal for the week and let me know how your week went. If you have any questions as you work during week 2, please don't hesitate to ask through the questions forum, email, or during our conference on Tuesday. I'm here to help you and want to see you do well. You should have already received an email invite to our conference on Tuesday night, and you'll receive another one the day of our conference as a reminder. To enter the Google Hangout, you'll click on the link found in the email next to the words video call. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday.